Hey, million dollar agents, it's Sandra again. Welcome to episode 28. Now, I'm going to try and do what I did last time, which is record it straight through without any interruptions. And let's just see how we go. So, it's December the 21st. Like, how did that even happen? I don't feel like I've actually had enough time in December. It feels like we shouldn't be at number 21 for the month. We should be kind of like the 1st of December. I'm not done yet. I'm not ready to stop. And we're barreling down towards the end of the year. And a lot of offices are closing on Friday this week. So it's, everyone wants everything done. And there's a big panic on to get everything tied up before this Friday. Anyway, what happens at the end of the year? Everybody kind of reflects on how their year's going and, and how it's been and, did they get what they wanted to get done? And you know what? It's very hard to gauge your year if you haven't made a plan the year before. So this episode is all about planning. This is not a goal setting episode, though. There's a big difference between setting goals and making plans. Plans and goals kind of get blurred into one thing, and they're really quite different because a plan for a year is very strategic in terms of it's based on the time frame that you've given, and you're working with dates, and you're working with quarters, and you're working with agendas as such, whereas goals can be life goals. They can be bigger than that. So the lines get a little bit blurred. But anyway, this is a plan. This is not a goal. Goal setting is for next year is going to be a totally different podcast. So stay with me for that one. So when you look back at the year and you think it's been a pretty ordinary year, it's most likely because you didn't plan the year or you did plan the year and you didn't stick to the plan. So if you've done that, you've made plans and then you've deviated from the plans, you're going to feel pretty ordinary this time of the year because you'll go back and you'll look at what you've done and you'll think, oh, I just didn't do anything I wanted to do. The year did not go the way I wanted it to go. And what have I been doing? So the trick is not only to plan it, but to stick to it. So I'm going to tell you some strategies for doing that. And, you need to do that now. What I do is between Christmas and New Year's is a really kind of dead zone in terms of business because no one's answering the phone. They're with their families, they're relaxing, a lot of people taking time off. So what I do is I use that week, that time to get all my ducks in a row. Now I do have a rest and I do kind of down tools a little bit, but that's more so to do with not going out and doing inspections and not taking inquiries is because they're not there really. People are not calling as much as they were. I mean, if someone calls me, I'm going to pick up the phone, obviously, but it's a good week to focus on yourself, focus on the next year, get your goals and your plan in place. So you can do this lying by the pool with a mocktail, which is my favorite thing to do. I like to get a big yearly planner and fill in all of the things that I'm going to do in the next year and stick to it. So what you've got to do is you've got to start with the big rocks. Now, the big rocks are things that are going to come into that year. It might be all the birthdays for your family. There might be a big occasion coming up, like a special birthday, like a 50th, for instance, or a 21st, or just everyone else's birthdays that you're not going to be available for a 7:00 Zoom meeting that night because you've got family dinner on for a birthday. Weddings, corporate events that are coming up. You might have conferences that are coming up. You want to write them in because you don't want to be double booking your calendar. You don't want to be double booking your year. Critical business engagements. You might have clients that are flying in January or February or March that are coming in, and you need to block out time for those clients. So you need to put those in so you're not bumbling your way through your year and letting the time lead you. You want to be able to look at the yearly planner and go, right, I've got 30 days before this big event's happening. I want to be ready for it, whatever that may look like. That might be being as fit as you can. It might be having a presentation ready. It might be getting a bunch of things done in order to be ready for that event. So you really need to be able to look at it stand back and look at the plan of big picture stuff for the year. Really important. You also want to set revenue milestones. So you want to make plans that you may not already be locked in, but something that you want to do by a certain day. So it might be by the end of the third quarter, you want to have fixed up your website or launched a new website, or you might be doing a new product launch, or you might be recruiting, or you might be launching a whole new business altogether. And you want to write that down, because once you've got that timeline set, then it's going to be a motivator. You'll be looking at it and you'll know that you'll need to do certain things by that date. And days go super quick. I have, with my yearly planner, I also have a calendar on the wall, that just a monthly calendar, and you're crossing it off every day, which I do. And I look at it and I think the month's running out, and time is slippery. Like, it really goes so fast. So you just want to be on it. You want to be looking at it every day and making sure you're on track. So be decisive, as well as don't have maybe plans on there. So when you're setting your calendar, set things from the pit of your stomach. So you're looking at those items and you're making sure that they're going to happen. And, don't put maybe plans. Weddings, parties, anything, put fun stuff on there too. You want to have things to look forward to. You don't want to be filling it up with just your milestones for your business. You want to also have maybe a holiday to look forward to with your family. Now, the other thing that's really important to do is to calendar merge with the important people in your life, whether it's your best friends or your partner or your parents or your kids. Make sure that everyone is trying to achieve the same goals next year in terms of what they want to do in the year. So, if you've got some buddies that are saying, look, we want to take some time off, we've got this locked in, you want to go and do something together, work around that. Make sure that you're ready for that, so you can put those in your calendars. And the biggest trick to it is to stick to it. So don't scratch it out. Don't deviate from it. Don't lock in a plan, lock in a conference, and then get cold feet and then not go. If you can forecast that that's an important thing to do, you've put it in your yearly calendar, stick to it. Stick to it. It's important, because if it was important enough to think about doing and writing in there, we all have this feeling sometimes where we might get anxiety, or we might just think, I'm not ready. But just push through that and really keep going. Stick one foot in front of the other and go and do those things that you plan to do. Because I can guarantee you, when you get to the end of the year and you look back and you go, did it, nailed it, I'm so glad I did that. You get over that initial fear, and then you go and do those things that you want to do. Go and do a training course. If you know something's coming up, lock it in, put it in the planner. Make sure you buy your ticket. Make sure you're there. So, start doing some research this week and next week, between Christmas and New Year, things that are coming up, things that are going to improve yourself. Now, the other thing is, put in books that you want to read in your planner. So you'll have a time frame. You'll say, okay, in the first quarter, I want to read, 5 self-help books. And I want to read, maybe something from Tony Robbins, or maybe something from Mel Robbins, or whoever you're motivated by. Put a little tick on your yearly planner as to how many books you want to read by what dates, because just looking at it, it'll trigger you. So the next time you go out to the shops, you'll be pretty much reminded from your subconscious mind to go and get those things, go and pick those books up. If you just have an idea, I really should grab that book, and you haven't written it down anywhere, it's probably not going to happen. So definitely put it on your calendar. But you just have to be organized and not let time rule you. You want to rule your own time. You want to rule your year, and you want to make it a good one. So you can't probably sit down and do it in one session. It's probably going to be a work in progress, but get it started. Just get started and stick it on the wall. And again, make it fun. have things to look forward to. So 2023 is going to be a great year. It's going to be so much better. Now, I've got friends and family in all different sectors, and some of them have had a terrible year. Not so much in the real estate. Residential real estate agents seem to be still riding a bit of a wave from when everything went crazy. Things are tougher now. Commercial doesn't seem to have that roller coaster as much as. I always find them busy, and there's different ways to do that. And if you've listened to my other podcasts, you'll get that. My brother, who's in the mining sector, he said they've had a really rough year, really tough year, and he doesn't know what it's going to do next year. So what you can't do is you can't let outside influences dictate how you're going to feel at the end of the year. So the economy's doing whatever it's doing. But if you are in your world, in your bubble, and you've set goals and plans for yourself and you've actually achieved them, it doesn't matter what is happening outside. So you've gone to those conferences, you've gone on that holiday with your family, you've set those targets in place for your business, you've launched your website, you've launched the product, you've hired another staff member, whatever you're doing, those things you can control. So don't be upset about a year where things have happened that were completely out of your control, because you can't change that. The only thing you can change is what you're doing with your time, and you can only gauge what you can control. So that's pretty much it. But I hope you all have a very nice Christmas. This probably won't be my last podcast before Christmas, because I need to squeeze one more in. But if I don't see you, hear from you, talk to you, or you're listening, have a lovely Christmas. And yeah, take care. And here's to a big 2023. I am so looking forward to next year. So thank you for listening. This is a short podcast, short and sweet. My name's Sandra Carter. I'm a commercial agent. You can find me on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook under Sandra Carter Commercial Agent. And I will post this on YouTube as well as, and you can watch it, which I did a bit of an experiment, and crazy thing, it was 4 times the amount of people watched the YouTube than downloaded the podcast, which is interesting. But you know what? If it works, it works. So that's it. That's me out. Have a good one. Till next time.